The New England Patriots have made multiple roster moves, including signing a player to the active roster. We also have a major injury update on a key defensive player from Mike Vrable's squad. We'll get you all you need to know on his anticipated return today here on Patriots Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Hope you are having a wonderful start to 2026. And before we get going here on the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 6,000 subscribers, less than 400 away. If you're looking for daily Patriots content, we have you covered. The New England Patriots have made a series of roster moves that included signing a player to the active roster, and we'll start with that here today with the official signing. Quote, the New England Patriots announced that defensive back Kolbe has been signed to the 53-man roster from the practice squad, this according to the Patriots press release. Now, this is a guy that you might know, specifically because he was Mr. Irrelevant last year, the last pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, obviously, he was kind of up and down on the Patriots with the practice squad. He is been active for a couple games, but now he is officially signed to the active roster. Again, from the Patriots press release, Minor, 23, was drafted by New England in the 7th round of the 2025 NFL Draft out of Memphis with the 257th overall pick. The 5'11", 188-pounder was released by New England on August 26th and signed to the Patriots practice squad on August 27th, end quote. Before we get into the rest of today's show, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real-life events, sports, elections, and really anything and everything you can find today on Kalshi. Now, if you're in California, Texas, or anywhere across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. For sports fans, you can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Looking ahead to the NFL Draft, we can see that Fernando Mendoza has the top odds on Kalshi to become the #1 overall pick, but hey, maybe take the yes on Dante Moore at 36%. Given what he could do in a playoff run, you never know what could happen there. And of course, you want to go even more crazier, there's an option of Arvell Reese, which could get you some good change if you get that with the yes. Now, this is the smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. Test your ball knowledge today by getting the link in the description and using the code DIGESTNFL to get $20 when you trade 100. Again, link in the description. It'll be the top pinned comment to get $20. Use DIGESTNFL when you trade. Now, going back to here, Kolbe, I think that being a 7th round draft pick, it's really hard sometimes to make the active roster in your first year. If we look at his collegiate statistics with his time in Texas Tech, Indiana, and then lastly at Memphis, he was a pretty good guy in the defensive backfield. 37 total tackles in his senior year with Memphis, 28 of those solo. Did also have 6 pass deflections, but the cool thing about Minor that I think nobody is really talking about is his ability to be a pass rushing blitzing corner. You've got 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Really nice work with his body movement. I think he can control the field very well, and I'm excited to see what we can get out of him. Now, he was elevated for a couple of games this season for the New England Patriots, as we see here from the press release. He was elevated for the games at Miami on September 14th versus Pittsburgh on September 21st, and at the New York Jets on December 28th. He played on defense for the first time against the Jets and finished with 1 total tackle, end quote. And so with this to be said, he's had some time, and of course, last week getting his first actual in-game action, it might actually be a benefit for him for a couple of different reasons. And the reason I pull up the injury report is for 2 really big updates. The first is that Alex Austin, a cornerback who has been opened up his 21-day practice window, he officially did have a limited participation at practice in the past 2 days and could have a potential to return. But if he doesn't, then there makes more of an opportunity for Kolbe. But also what could happen is the Chargers and the Broncos playing on the same time of the New England Patriots. If, let's say, we see the Chargers are up by 21 at half, then at the half, Mike Vrabel might make the decision to sit some of his guys, to not play all out, to not try and get injuries, because At that point, if the Broncos win, the Patriots are locked into the 2 seed. We'll have to see kind of what happens, though, but I do like Kolbe Minor kind of going back to his statistics, has a lot of good experience at the Big 12 level, the Big 10 level, and then, of course, finally at Memphis. Had a very good and successful collegiate career. Being Mr. Irrelevant, it's a lot to get up to the roster. He's done that. Now, what can he do on the field for the Patriots? We could find out here this Sunday against Miami. Now, I showed the injury report, and I want to go back to it because it is a very nice and big thing to kind of look at, with specifically one player we already have an update on this morning. Robert Spillane, a linebacker, had an ankle injury. He has not played since before the Bills game, although he was active, never got out on the field, did not participate on Wednesday, did not participate on Thursday, but guess who is back on the practice field today? Here it has Evan Lazar saying Patriots linebacker Robert Spillane has returned to practice today for the first time since before the Bills game, which was 3 weeks ago. Spillane was officially active versus the Bills in Week 15, but didn't play. He hasn't practiced or played since. Now, the expectation for Spillane is probably not to get into this Sunday's game, but at least getting back on the practice field, and if the Patriots can secure the 1 seed, he's going to have a full week of practice next week to get his body right for the playoffs. If not, well, he gets an extra day of practice this week to prepare for what would be the first-round playoff matchup against, in theory, the potential matchup against the Chargers. Robert Spillane is obviously very excited about this and kind of really talked about it in a lot of ways. He said, quote, "I'm fired up. Every day I come in here looking to get back on the field, preparing. I think we're progressing in the right direction. I can't wait to get back out there and be a help to these guys on Sunday." Now, Spillane has been fantastic in the games he's been active at 30 years old with 13 games under his belt. He's got 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss, and 97 combined tackles, which leads the Patriots on defense, even though he's missed a good bit of games now to this point, still leading the team in tackles by over 10 tackles, 97 for him. The next best, Christian Ellis with 86, and then Jack Gibbons behind him at 76 is where it gets kind of a little bit closer in that right. And so we're all very excited about the potential return of Robert Spillane, and hopefully he can come out here and do some good things for the New England Patriots. I would love to see him active in this game against the Miami Dolphins. We're going to wait for the official injury report to come out later this afternoon. We'll probably have a video or a short out on it later talking about if he is active, he's questionable, what is going on with the entirety of the Patriots roster. Also got to look at Milton Williams and his activation status, and a couple other guys on the roster that could be key for trying to get I'm not going to say a needed win, because, I mean, if you win, you get the 2nd seed if the Broncos win. But if you win and the Broncos lose, you get the 1 seed. But if you lose, you're still the 2 seed. It really doesn't really change much. So at the end of the day, you'd want to win. You want to secure that, but you're kind of locked to the 2 seed in a lot of ways. So that's obviously a very good thing. One last update. I mentioned there was multiple roster moves. It was not just getting Kolbe Minor to the active roster. They also signed a couple of mans back to the practice squad. Here it is from the Patriots press release saying, quote, "In addition, cornerback Miles Battle and offensive lineman Brendan Jaimes has been signed to the practice squad. Battle and Jaimes were released from the 53-man roster on December 29th. Both those guys actually were signed that week prior to the active roster. Or signed to the practice squad or active roster, one of the two, and then were released subsequently. They are back on the practice squad. Most of the time, these are just kind of what happens when you sign to the active roster. You then, get cut or get whatever, and then you sign back on to the practice squad a week later, because the Patriots usually leave that spot open. That's kind of just the way the NFL has continuously worked. But it's nice to see them back on the practice squad. I'm intrigued to see what we could get from Kolbe Minor in this upcoming Sunday game against the Miami Dolphins. Hopefully we see some good things. Hopefully he can be out there and be a positive effort to these guys, but ultimately we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, the big news for Robert Spillane. I would love to have him out there this Sunday just to get his feet back and wet before the playoffs. But again, same can be said for Will Campbell. Same can be said for Milton Williams. We're going to have a full injury update video later on today when that injury report does come public, and we'll get it out to you here today on Patriots Digest. So make sure you come back for that later video. But for now, we appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.